Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the European Football All-Time channel. And it's been a while since I've said this, but the Champions League is back. The first games in the Champions League of 2026 are tomorrow and Wednesday night. We're into the home stretch of the Champions League. Next Wednesday, match day 8, the league phase is done, and then we go into the knockouts. So yeah, 2 match days to go, and big games in both game weeks. So yeah, let's get on with game week 7 Champions League predictions. Okay then, and the first game is from Kazakhstan as Kairat Almaty take on Club Brugge. Now Kairat Almaty, their last Champions League game was a 1-0 defeat at home to Olympiacos. As for Club Brugge, they lost 3-0 against Arsenal. Looking at the table, Kairat Almaty have got pretty much no chance. I mean, they are currently sat rock bottom of the table on 1 point. They need to win both of their remaining games to have any chance of getting a playoff place, but it looks quite unlikely, that Kairat Almaty are going to qualify for the next round, but at least they're giving it a go, I guess. Club Brugge, they are currently, where are Brugge actually? They are currently sat in 31st. They've already actually won 1 game in the Champions League so far, Club Brugge. It hasn't been the best campaign for them, but Kairat Almaty away, you know, the team that's bottom of the Champions League, you know, I think they'll be coming into this game knowing that they need to win this game. I'm not sure who they've got in their final game, but they'll want to get a win here, and hope teams around them drop points. But yeah, I think Brugge will win this one. It'll be a tight game. You know, it's a long trip all the way out to Kazakhstan. But I think Brugge will win this game narrowly. So my prediction is Kairat Almaty 0, Club Brugge 1. And the next game is out in Norway as Bodo Glimt welcome Manchester City to the Asmara Stadion. Bodo Glimt, their last Champions League game was a 2-2 draw away at Borussia Dortmund. Good point for the Norwegians. Manchester City winning by 2-1 at Real Madrid. A big win, their first win at the Bernabeu, Manchester City, I think, since 2020. But City are coming into this game after losing the Manchester derby 2-0 to Manchester United. I tell you what, City was genuinely terrible in that game against Manchester United. Manchester United thoroughly deserved to win that game, and City will be looking to bounce back. Of course, they have signed Mark Guehi today. He won't be available to play in the Champions League for Manchester City until the knockout phases. But the 2 remaining games City have got aren't easy. Bodo Glimt away. People will probably be saying to me right now, Zach, City are probably going to win this game. It's Bodo Glimt. Do not underestimate Bodo Glimt, especially at home. They are very good at home, Bodo Glimt, on that plastic pitch in the freezing conditions. They've made it very difficult for big teams to go their season. My team, Tottenham, went there and drew 2-2. Juventus only scraped a win there. I mean, even back when Bodo Glimt were in the Europa League and Conference League, you know, Roma went there and lost. Lazio went there and lost. This will not be an easy game at all for Manchester City. And especially defensively, City do look shaky at the moment, and that Bodo Glimt attack is very good. You know, that they attack in numbers, Bodo Glimt, and you know, they'll be up for it, the Bodo Glimt fans. I mean, it's a massive club in Manchester City visiting their stadium. I'm sure loads of Bodo fans try to get tickets for this one, and in all honesty, I do think Bodo will get a point out of this. City are just looking shaky at the moment. So my prediction is Bodo Glimt 2, Manchester City 2. I nearly predicted a Bodo win, but I'm going to go with a draw. And we head over to Scandinavia. We head to Copenhagen, where FC Copenhagen take on Napoli. Of course, Napoli losing 2-0 at Benfica in their last Champions League game. As for FC Copenhagen, it was a 3-2 win away at Villarreal. Napoli, I think, beat Sassuolo on the weekend to stay alive in the title race over in Italy. But Napoli haven't been that great in the Champions League this season. I mean, they are currently sat in 23rd, so they're just hanging on to a playoff place. And of course, the team they're playing, Copenhagen, are currently sat in the final playoff place. So this is a big game for both teams. Both teams could do with a win here. I don't really know what it is with Napoli. They seem to be just really bad just in Europe this season. I mean, is it Conte? I don't know, because Conte's European record just isn't really that great, to be honest with you. But Copenhagen away, Napoli will want to win, but it is away. Copenhagen, they'll be up for it at home. I'm going to go with a draw for this one. I nearly went with a Napoli win, but I'm going to go with a draw. Copenhagen 1, Napoli 1. And the next game is probably one of the games of the week at San Siro, as Serie A leaders Inter Milan take on Premier League leaders in Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal winning by 3-0 in their last Champions League game at Bruges. Inter Milan, on the other hand, their last Champions League game was a 1-0 defeat at home against Liverpool. So it's another English team visiting the San Siro, and I'll tell you what, I think this will be a very tight game, to be honest. You know, both teams are solid defensively. Arsenal, very good defensively. Inter Milan have been very good defensively. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a 0-0, but I do think one of these two teams will win this game. Inter have been very good under Christian Chivi, and this is a big test for him against a team like Arsenal, who have been very good in the Premier League this year. They're top of the Premier League, they're top of the Champions League. I think if Arsenal actually win tomorrow, they can actually, I think, guarantee a top 2 finish, and it'll just be a shootout between them and Bayern to see who finishes first in the Champions League. I mean, you got City are up there, PSG, Atalanta up there as well. Maybe even Inter could finish first. Can they finish first, Inter? I don't know. But in all honesty, it'll most likely be Arsenal or Bayern to finish first. But I have a feeling Arsenal are going to lose this game. I think from what I've seen of Inter this season, just recently, they've been very good. Defensively, they look very organised. They look good going forward. Arsenal were quite poor on the weekend at Nottingham Forest. I think they've been poor for a while, to be honest. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 home win for the Italians. Inter Milan 1, Arsenal 0. And we head over to Greece as Olympiacos take on Bayer Leverkusen. Olympiacos winning 1-0 at Kairat Almaty, that being Olympiacos' first win in the Champions League this season. Bayer Leverkusen, on the other hand, they drew 2-2 at home to Newcastle. Decent result there for Leverkusen. Olympiacos currently in... Where are Olympiacos? They are currently sat in 29th place. So, I mean, they have got a chance, Olympiacos. I think that win last time out was big for them, really. Leverkusen, they're currently sat in 20th place. So, I mean, they are currently 4 points ahead of Benfica in 25th. So a win for the Germans out in Greece will be big. A win for Olympiacos as well. They could have a very good chance of finishing in the playoffs heading into match day 8. I think it'll be a tight one. Obviously, I'm not sure if Olympiacos will have El Kaabi for this. Of course, he has just been out with Morocco for AFCON. Of course, Morocco losing the final yesterday, I mean. Well, by the way, speaking of the AFCON final, how mad was that, by the way? Crazy game. But yeah, my prediction, I think Leverkusen will win. Tight game, 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen. And we now move on to the kings of this competition, which is Real Madrid, as they take on Monaco at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid, like I said earlier, losing 2-1 against Manchester City. Monaco, their last Champions League game. Monaco, their last Champions League game was a 1-0 victory against Galatasaray. Decent win for them, to be fair. But a lot's happened at Real Madrid since that defeat against Manchester City. Xabi Alonso is gone. He is no longer the manager of Real Madrid. Of course, he left the club after... Hold on. He did leave the club after their Supercopa de España defeat in Saudi against Barcelona, and they have got, I think, the B manager, who is, I'm not sure if he's the interim or permanent manager, but they currently do have Alvaro Arbiola as the manager. I mean, it wasn't a great start for him because they got knocked out the Copa del Rey by, I think, 17th in the Segunda Division in Albacete, but they did beat Levante on the weekend, Real Madrid. But it'll be interesting how Real Madrid do in this game, because looking at the Champions League table, they're currently in 7th place, but if they do lose this game, Real Madrid, they could be under a bit of pressure going into match day 8 to finish in the top 8. But a win here for Real Madrid, they should be alright, to be fair, in my opinion. But Monaco at home, Monaco, they're doing alright, to be fair. They're currently in 19th. They could do with maybe a point. I mean, a point for Monaco wouldn't be the end of the world, but a win for Monaco would be even better. But I think Real Madrid will win. It'll be a tight one. They looked, I did watch the highlights of the Madrid game before making this video. They looked alright against Levante. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Real Madrid. Let me just go get my laptop charger, because I think my laptop's going to die soon. Yeah, anyway, who have we got next? We have got Sporting Lisbon versus Paris Saint-Germain. Sporting currently sat in 14th. PSG currently sat in 3rd in the Champions League. A win for them probably should guarantee a top 8 finish. PSG, their last Champions League game, who did they play? God, it's been that long. Who did they play? I can't find it. Oh yeah, they drew 0-0 away at Athletic Bilbao. Not the best result, to be fair, considering how Bilbao have been in the Champions League this season. Sporting, who are the home side, their last Champions League match was a 3-1 defeat away at Bayern. I do remember watching a little bit of that game. I actually thought Sporting looked alright. To be fair, Ruud Boyach, fair play to him, he's actually done a decent job for Sporting, to be fair. I think he's only lost about 6 games since taking over, so he's done a really good job, to be fair to him. But this will be a big test for Sporting, the European champions in town. Can they get a shock result? Maybe, but PSG are PSG at the end of the day. I mean, I know they did recently lose to their big rival. Are they big rivals? Well, they're city rivals, let's say, in Paris FC and the Coupe de France. But I think they recently won the French Super Cup as well against Marseille out in Kuwait, was it in, or somewhere like that? I don't know. But I think PSG will win, to be fair. I think they'll, in the end, probably have too much for Sporting. So, my prediction, Sporting 1, PSG 3. Maybe Luis Suarez with the goal for Sporting, because he seems to be scoring all the goals for Sporting this season out in Liga Portugal. Anyway, let's move on to Tottenham Hotspur against Borussia Dortmund at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Should be a good game, but it is an absolute nightmare at Spurs. If you are new to the channel, I am a Spurs fan, and it is an absolute nightmare at Spurs at the moment. We lost to West Ham on the weekend, and I'll tell you what, we were fucking terrible. West Ham scoring from a corner late on, and it has just been absolutely terrible at Spurs recently. How Thomas Frank is still the manager, I have no idea. But we are currently sat in 11th. Dortmund, a place above us, we're actually on the same points as Dortmund. We've actually got the same goal difference as well. I think, is it goals scored? Yeah, it is. Dortmund has scored more goals. So goals scored separating Spurs and Dortmund. But to be fair, we are at home, and our European home record is actually quite good. I don't think we've lost at home since 2020. I think our last home defeat was against RB Leipzig. I was actually there, when I think Timo Werner scored a penalty that day. But like I said, Spurs are in absolute crisis. We are awful at the moment. And to be honest, I'm expecting a win for Dortmund here. Dortmund, I think they've only lost 1 game in the Bundesliga this season. They're looking good. They've got good players in their team. And no, honestly, I think Dortmund are going to win, because we are terrible at the moment. And plus as well, we've got pretty much our whole team are just either suspended, injured, or ineligible. But yeah, my prediction, Tottenham 0, Dortmund 3. We're going to get smashed. Okay, then let's move on to, I think this is the first game on Wednesday, I think. I'm just going to double check before I say that. Is it the first game on Wednesday? I have no idea. But anyway, it's Villarreal taking on Ajax at the Estadio de la Ceramica. Villarreal, their last game was that 3-2 defeat at home against Copenhagen. Ajax, on the other hand, their last Champions League game was a 4-2 win away at Karabakh. I mean, both of these two teams probably got no chance really. Villarreal 35th in the Champions League with a point. Ajax in 34th, and that last win against Karabakh actually was Ajax's first win of the Champions League this season. Villarreal yet to lose, yet to win a game in the Champions League. It's probably going to be an absolute boring game, nothing to play for either of these teams. I mean, a win for Ajax could be big, they could have a slim chance, but yeah, but Villarreal at home, I'm going to back them to win. Ajax this season in the chart, I mean, what has happened to Ajax, man? They have just been terrible. I mean, Villarreal in La Liga have been good, but in the Champions League they've been terrible, so I'll go with a home win, 2-1 Villarreal. Let's move on to another. I think actually this is the first game on Wednesday actually, between Galatasaray and Atletico Madrid. This should be a very good game of football. I certainly will be tuning into this because I think this will be a very good game. Galatasaray will be looking to respond after that defeat at Stade Louis II against Monaco. As for Atleti, they did win 3-2 at PSV last time out. Galatasaray currently sat in 18th. A point or maybe even a win should be enough to maybe confirm playoffs. Whether they can get into the top 8, I don't know. Atletico currently in 8th place, so a win for them would be big heading into the final match week of the Champions League. I mean, Rams Park, everyone knows what the atmosphere is like there. It's going to be loud, it's going to be noisy. It'll be interesting to see how the Atletico players cope with it, because the Turkish fans are absolutely crazy. I mean, I think Villa are out in Turkey this week as well against Fenerbahce. Speaking of that game, my sister's boyfriend's going to that game. So, Dek, if you're watching this, mate, have a great time out in Istanbul. Should be great. Anyways, back to Galatasaray Atleti. I'm going to go with a home win. I think the atmosphere, it'll get in the Atleti heads. They'll probably sit back the whole game. Probably won't have many counter-attacks because of the atmosphere and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to Galatasaray. And now we move on to Karabakh versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, Frankfurt have actually sacked their manager, Dino Topmiller, sacked on the weekend. So I don't know who they've got for this game, but I mean, any Frankfurt fans, can you tell me why you sacked the manager? Because I actually have no idea. But where are Frankfurt in the Champions League? They are currently sat in 30th. They've only won one game in the Champions League, Eintracht Frankfurt. It's been a bit of a miserable campaign for them, but if they can get a result away in Baku, it will be good. It will be big for them. Karabakh are currently in 22nd. If they can get a win, they actually might go into the playoffs. So they might go into the playoffs or take a step closer to getting into the playoffs. So big game for Karabakh really, and at home they've been good this season. I mean, they've kind of been the underdogs this season in the Champions League, Karabakh, even though they haven't won their last 4 games, Karabakh. But I think they'll win this one. I'm going to go with a home win, shock result, Karabakh 2, Frankfurt 1. And now we move on to Atalanta taking on Athletic Bilbao at the New Balance Arena, I think it's called, or Goa Stadium, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, anyway, Atalanta, they're currently in 5th at the moment. They're actually doing very well so far this season. I mean, I do say in most videos in Serie A predictions, what a job Rafael Palladino's done, by the way. Unreal. Athletic Bilbao haven't been great. They're currently sat in 28th, but a win for them, depending on the results, could take them into the playoffs. But I think Atalanta will win. You know, they've been really good since Palladino's come in. I mean, they're currently 5th. They're looking good at the moment, Atalanta. So I'm going to back the Italians to win by 2-0. And we move on to Bayern Munich versus Union Saint-Gilloise. Bayern Munich currently in 2nd. I mean, they are unbelievable, aren't they? I mean, some of their... let's just listen, by the way. Take a listen to some of these results recently for Bayern. They have been battering teams left, right and centre. On the weekend, they won 5-1 against Leipzig, 3-1 against FC Köln, 8-1 against Wolfsburg, 4-0 against Heidenheim, 2-2 against Mainz, even though that's probably not a great result, but 3-1 against Sporting, 5-0 against Stuttgart. I mean, they've just been... I mean, ever since they lost to Arsenal, they've just been absolutely battering teams. I mean, that 8-1 game against Wolfsburg is absolutely mental. And the Union Saint-Gilloise, they're probably shitting themselves coming into this, because this Bayern Munich team under Vincent Kompany is genuinely unstoppable. I cannot see anything, not just a Bayern win, a Bayern battering. Bayern should batter these, and I think they will. I'm going to go with a big 5-0 to Bayern Munich. And we now move on to Liam Rosenior's first Champions League game as Chelsea take on Cypriot team Paphos, and it is the return of David Luiz to Stamford Bridge. I'm sure he should get a decent reception, you imagine, from the Chelsea fans. I don't know, will he get a good reception? Chelsea fans, let me know in the comments, but Chelsea should win. I mean, where are they? They are currently sat in 13th. So if they do want to get into the top, they could do with a win, especially with a tricky game next week at Napoli, which should be interesting. Paphos at home, though, they should win, really. I mean, Paphos, if they do win, they could have a chance to get in playoffs, but Chelsea will win. They've been alright so far under Rossini. I think they'll get another win, Chelsea. So, my prediction, Chelsea 3, Paphos 0. And we move on to Juventus versus Benfica at the Allianz Stadium. Now, Juventus have actually got a bad record against Benfica. The 3 times these two have met in the Champions League, Benfica have actually won all 3 of them. But even though Juve did lose to Cagliari on the weekend, they have been brilliant since Luciano Spalletti's came in. I mean, Mourinho's done decent at Benfica. Can Benfica get another win against the Bianconeri? No, I don't think they will. Juve have been good recently. They'll be one to respond as well after that defeat against Cagliari. So my prediction, I'm going to crack on with it and go 2-1 to Juventus. And the next game, the third to last game, sees Marseille welcome Liverpool to the Stade Velodrome. Marseille currently sat in 16th. Liverpool down in 9th. Liverpool could do with a win here, and a few other results going in their favour to climb into the top 8 of the Champions League, but this will not be easy for Liverpool. The Stade Velodrome is a very noisy place to go. Marseille, decent team, you know, they're definitely up there. I think, well, last time I checked anyway, they're definitely up there in the Liga and title race. Last time I checked, I mean, Aubameyang's been doing well recently, scoring goals. Same with former Man United player Mason Greenwood. Marseille just look a decent team, to be fair. And the way Liverpool have been going recently, a couple fans not really too happy with performances recently. I mean, a 1-1 draw with Burnley on the weekend, not great. I'm not sure how Marseille did in their last game coming into this, but I think Marseille are going to win this. Liverpool, they just look a bit recently, and Marseille away, it's never an easy place to go as well. So yeah, my prediction is Marseille 2, Liverpool 1. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the team, for the team from La France. And the penultimate game comes from the northeast at St James's Park as Newcastle United take on PSV. Newcastle again could do with a win here to get into the top 8, but PSV, I think they're currently top of the Eredivisie. I think they've only lost 1 game, I think, in the Eredivisie. They're looking very good, but Champions League, they're currently in 21st. I mean, their Champions League form is quite just bang average, really. played 6, won 2, drew 2, lost 2. So, yeah, it's pretty just bang average, really. But Newcastle, 0-0 draw at Wolves yesterday. Not the greatest result. They could do with a win here, but PSV are decent, got a couple of decent players. So I'm going to go with a draw. Newcastle 2, PSV 2. And the final game of matchday 7 in the Champions League is Slavia Prague versus FC Barcelona. Of course, they did win the Supercopa de España against Real Madrid recently, but they are coming into this, I should say, with after losing to Real Sociedad yesterday. So not a great result, and I think the gap between Barca and Madrid is only a point now. So yeah, but Slavia Prague away, I think Barca will probably win. I mean, Barca, they actually could do with a win themselves, actually. They're only sat in 15th, Barcelona, and they've only won 3 games. So, yeah, a win here will be big. Slavia Prague are currently in 33rd. They haven't won a game yet, Slavia Prague. I mean, if Spurs can beat them, I think Barca will beat them. I think they'll get a goal because of Barca's high line. You know, I don't know, the high line in the Champions League seems to just not be working for Barca this year, but they've definitely conceded goals from playing that high line a lot, but yeah, Barca will win, but yeah, prediction is 3-1 to Barcelona. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. Fingers crossed this video gets uploaded before the Kairat game, because that is the first game. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Goodbye.